Welcome, everybody. I think this is episode 103 of Cute for Teams, Champions Using Teams Effectively. I think maybe I see one new name. But if you are new, this is office hours, ask me anything, or in general, it's a place for fellow Teams and Microsoft collaboration enthusiasts to get together and talk about Teams and collaboration and share ideas and thoughts and information and updates and all that good stuff. So if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, you're in the right place. So as always, feel free to use the chat or even raise your hand, to come off mute. And if you wanted to ask a question. Now, since we last met, I think a couple weeks ago, we did have Inspire and just announcements all over the place, right? Not just Inspire. And so I thought I might at least, there's a blog post from Tech Community, which I think does a pretty good job summarizing many of those announcements. So I thought I'd just go through this a little, see which ones, point out the ones that I'm kind of excited about, maybe get your thoughts on what you're excited about or, what you think of the impact of some of these changes. Thought that might be a good place to start to kind of kick us off with some conversation. So I'll put the link to this in the chat for easy access for everyone. So we got that there. Let me do one thing up here. Cool. Okay. And click that. All right. So long post. I want to jump though to the first one that I saw that excited me. And it's a very, I don't know, I get excited about some of the little more subtle changes. And so way down, I had a little bookmark here. Way down, it talks about copying links to group chat messages. So this idea of going to a chat and being able to copy a link to that chat. Now, that's an old concept. That's always been there, getting a link to a chat post, but it has been a channel chat feature. Group chats and individual private chats didn't have that. I always thought that was because, and I was always missing that feature. I felt like I could use it. I always felt like it wasn't there because the that link's ability to properly open is like really centered around who happens to be have access to that chat. And so that was how I justified in my mind that a group chat is a little more you're just not sure versus a channel chat that's in a formal team. But all that being, and I had some workarounds for getting that link anyway. But all that being said, this is there now. So what that means is chats today, your group chats can, you can now, for instance, put a link to that chat anywhere, but even specifically in that chat to kind of refer up to something previous. I've been in group chats where we have, kind of not like the idea that if we were referencing a conversation we had a few days ago, the best you could do is say, remember when we talked, about the so-and-so, and someone would have to scroll up the chat to kind of get back to that. So to me, this just makes it easier because group chats are kind of just this continuous flow of thought, kind of like a text message conversation. So to be able to go back up to something or reference something, I think is pretty cool and adds more useful functionality to group chats. And the reason I think that's important is because between myself and customers, I just see people using group chats a lot in addition to channel chats, but sometimes more than channel chats. I think there's some comfort level with the group chat or the private chat area for smaller conversations that maybe you don't feel are appropriate in channel chat. So I said a lot about a very, very small, subtle feature, but to me, I just think that's a big deal. So again, if you got any thoughts on that, feel free to chime in. But I like that one, that is there. And in fact, I didn't even, until I saw this here, I didn't notice it, that I have it. And maybe you do have it too. It doesn't talk about it being delayed. So I know I have it internally. If you've got it, that's cool too. If you do have it, maybe thumbs up, let me know if you've got it like in GCC and whatnot, because I haven't checked that. So I just thought that was a cool one. Now I'll just go back to the top here, and kind of go down. So there are tons of stuff listed here. And at the bottom of this, they even list some of the sessions from Inspire if you want to get all of the details. Certainly Copilot's still in early access and all of that, so still not released. You may have heard about the commercial pricing being released. But here's some early access, basically let's call them teasers related to Copilot for, in this case, Teams Phone. As you can see from the graphic here, in general, the things I'm seeing is basically give me a summary about this call. And I think this would be a recorded call, same as Copilot giving you summaries about your meetings. It assumes that there's a recording of the meeting for it to do that. But so I don't do a lot of calls per se. This doesn't have a lot of use for me, but those who are heavy in phone calls, and to be able to ask Copilot, what has this person asked me for as a to do or things like that could be kind of cool. Okay, and then I just checked the chat. So talking about the group chats conversation, will there still be the reply option that links back to the message you were referencing? I believe that is there, the reply. Let me double check that real quick. Let's see here. And in fact, yes, so there's the reply. So reply is still good. You still have that. And then I can check for copy link. Maybe I should go to a true group chat like this one. And so I'm not seeing copy link here. So it may not be in GCC yet. I haven't checked my commercial tenant. I am seeing it internally. It's basically just right in this drop down as well. So yeah, all right. So copy link, coming soon. Then it sounds like good stuff. Jump back. Go down here. So with Copilot in Teams, again, early access, but based on this graphic here, being able to go to a chat conversation and again, ask for a summary, ask for, maybe any to-do items for you. So getting key info from that chat is what that seems to be about. So I'm glad they got these nice visuals in here because as we've Stacy and I have said, these are just hard to demo right now with them being so early on. We did talk about this, I think, last time. Collaborative notes, again, also still in preview, but the ability, basically, a loop component, essentially, in this meeting notes area where people can real time update. I have seen this internally, but I don't know if this is rolled out. Obviously, it's in preview, so it's certainly not rolled out per se. But if you all are on any preview tenants, you might be able to play with this. And we will talk more about Loop in this group as we go along. Share calling. If anybody does a lot of calling or is in a call center or anything, I think this is the ability to have more than one person on the same phone number. So this is another nice one for me. Finding content faster with this nice side view of the search results. Anybody that's ever searched in Teams is probably used to, you do a search up in the top search box, and then you get this whole big window with all of the results and ability to filter. So this is basically taking that to have a side view of that. I'd be interested in anybody's thoughts on how search has been working for them, in Teams. For me, sometimes it's good days and bad days. Some days it finds it really nice. and quick and easy, and other times not so much. In these sessions and past sessions, I have talked about the Microsoft 365 or basically your portal.office.com search box actually being a little having a little more, sometimes a nicer ability to search portal.office. Basically your M365 homepage, this search box right here, come on, right here. So it has some good search, and I found it to be sometimes more reliable than the team search. I'm sure that's all going to converge eventually, but so I will search here sometimes, but I'll also as well in the general search. So obviously this tenant still has the old view, although I guess I didn't actually try what they're suggesting. I would go to a channel chat and I would hit Control F. This one, that's going to, so I did a Control F, that's basically a /find, which is going to search within this conversation. And if I search for something, I'm getting the results over here. So this is, I think this is more old school. The picture we just saw had it over on the right. So not the greatest demo of that feature here, but I think you get it. Let's see, go back, where was I? So that's kind of cool. So this one caught my eye just because I recently did I clicked a link in an email. I'm a fan of Outlook in the web, which is the new Outlook. And well, that's not really an accurate way to say that, but I'm a fan of the new Outlook. And I clicked a link recently that opened in the browser and had the email that I had clicked from on the side. So I feel like this is the similar feature. This is basically saying click a link in a Teams chat and have that link open and the chat open on the side. So I think that could be useful. It was relatively useful to have that original email up on the side as well. I don't know what I did to. I mean, I think it just did it on its own. You know, new Outlook is always getting updated. So similar thing, trying to keep you in context of where you started from. So I think that's nice. I'm looking forward to a day when, you know, I can actually, well, in this case, I guess I could continue to chat with this person in the browser. That's kind of nice. But I'd love to manage some chats within the browser, just period. So that'd be interesting. I see in the chat, I had that in the browser. Now it's not happening anymore. Okay. An Edge app launcher is not functioning. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, that could be something still being developed, because I have not seen this functionality that they're describing. I have not seen this yet. They do say general availability later this year. A lot of times we see stuff internally a little early. I got the Teams app in Edge, but it's ugly. This is what I'm seeing in the chat. Okay. Awesome. So we'll see when that launches. Skip through a few things. I did see this guy here about creating up to 1,000 channels per team. Maybe throw some thumbs up if that's a good thing for you, because I can imagine some people saying, I don't want, I never want to see a team with 1,000 channels in it. But I don't know if anybody is a fan of. I see some surprised reactions coming, but I don't know if anybody's a fan of lots of channels and teams. I'm okay with it. When I used to, train customers, I would just say, that's why you have the ability to hide channels. I'm in teams with, dozens of channels, and I'm only interested in one channel, and I just hide all the rest, and all is well. So I could see this. I know I've had customers that have lines of business that are in the hundreds, and so one team with a channel for every line of business, could be convenient. Could also be hard to manage. That's a lot of hiding and showing, but could be convenient. That's one team and everybody show the lines of business that they're interested in and hide the rest. I could see that. So I don't know. I didn't see too many thumbs up on that one, so I'm guessing maybe you're horrified by the idea of 1,000 channels in a team. So, This one here in general, yes, I'm seeing 1,000 channels is scary in the chat. um, I see this one here about shared channels and basically a page for requesting a shared channel. I think that's kind of nice if you're, especially if you're an admin of your team's area. So some organizational defined onboarding landing page for submitting requests for basically cross-organization collaboration. So that's probably nice for anybody trying to kind of manage the demand for this in their organization. Let me scroll down. The webinars, getting additional customization options on those emails. So that's essentially what that's talking about, including, I think, the reminder emails as well. Those are a couple of sessions that they referred to. So you can click those. Meeting, zoom in, zoom out. The team breakout rooms participant shuffle. So I'm in meetings that have breakout rooms, but I'm not a breakout room organizer often. But I've been in large meetings where they break us out, and we seem to go into randomly created rooms. But given that this is a new feature, I'm guessing I should have given more kudos to the organizers of those meetings, because it sounds like this feature is new and they were doing something else to break us up. I don't know if they were doing it manually, for you on the calls that are doing breakout rooms today, if you break out folks into quote unquote random rooms, if you're doing that manually, but this seems to be now a feature to do that automatically, just shuffle people out into their rooms. So there may be a lot of breakout room organizers that are really happy about this one. I have not felt that pain myself, but it's good to know that they'll be able to do that. So good stuff there. BDI stuff, I talked about that piece. Oh, okay. And then this looks like team videos and recordings within chat, with the play button and all those kind of things. That's cool. And then, anything with calendar enhancements is always good. So a new agenda view and calendar to see events in a more consumable manner. Kind of like the thought of that. This begs the question, how many of us kind of look at our day and or our meetings in Teams calendar versus staying in Outlook, because both have easy join buttons. I don't know if I feel like I may be 50-50 sometime, and I feel like sometimes I should commit to one in terms of looking at my day and joining meetings. But that's a nice little interface there. So I won't go through all of this. I mean, I'll just open it up if anybody's got any thoughts or comments about any of this, or if you looked at anything else and found some interest. But I do want to give time if there's questions in general. I'm looking at the chat here. Okay. I see somebody talking about this rule of 7 for no more than 7 folders or channels or anything. And as a former web designer, I used to use that rule myself when it came to navigation. That's a tough one though, given there's no sub channels or anything in a team. So it'd be one thing to have like 7 top level channels that broke out into 7 subs and all that good stuff, but yeah, to put all your work into 7 channels might be a little challenging. So, but yeah, that is certainly a rule of thumb. Awesome. Any other comments or questions out there? Any questions you came here to talk about specifically? Just going through the chat, making sure I didn't miss anything.
I was going to ask you if a couple of people in our organization have mentioned noticing a change in the noise suppression in Teams, and we don't really have anything to compare it to, and we've tried changing the settings in Teams, but it just seems so much more sensitive now, even on like the highest. So it's like picking up my keyboard and picking up,
Oh,
a train going by in the distance where we didn't notice that before.
yeah. Because I was going to ask you if it was a change for the better or not. Basically, it's filtering out more, but you're saying it's letting in more.
Yeah.
And that's after your typical settings that, right, in terms of, there's all of this good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard of any change, and usually I'm quite pleasantly surprised when people will be on a call. I'll be on a call with someone who says, "Yeah, excuse me for the background noise," and none of us could hear anything. They claim to be in a loud spot, and so I haven't seen that myself.
Okay.
I see a hand up from Amy. I don't know if you've got.
I have a different question.
Oh, okay. Anybody else had any noise suppression issues?
Well, hi, this is Glenn. Just quickly, we've found that auto default, which is what we get on install, is the same as low. It filters out almost nothing. But when we change it to high, as you just demonstrated, that seems to be very effective, at least for us.
Yeah, and that's interesting because now I certainly have a lot of different devices, fancy mics and headphones and stuff. But I've been on auto always and never been told, no one's ever told me there's an issue. I've actually tried to turn off suppression for the purpose of getting background music to be heard and couldn't even get that really working well, meaning, Teams still kept filtering that out. And again, that could be my devices are just really good at picking up just my voice. But so yeah, that's my experience has kind of been different there. So that's interesting. So yeah, that'll be something I'll be looking at. But yeah, bottom line, most of what I hear is about suppression getting better, not worse. So hopefully that's a temporary problem for you there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Amy, see your hand.
Yeah. Thanks. So my question was, I think I had always assumed, like, if you share in a Teams channel, right, that the file is uploaded to SharePoint if you attach a file. But I realized this week, I think, that if you share from your OneDrive, it seems to be where the file stays in your OneDrive and it's just shared with the team.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to files, you don't see that file, right? You would have, but if you go to the SharePoint site, I know there's a shared with us section where you can see it. So I wanted to confirm my understanding, because I think I'd been telling people, hey, if you share through channels, it's just uploaded to SharePoint, and that's not always the case.
Yeah.
It appears.
So,
and then also, is there a way to see the shared with us from Teams instead of having to go to SharePoint?
Yeah. So sharing a file, with the paperclip here, has these few options. So uploading from my computer is certainly uploading to Teams, meaning uploading to the SharePoint files area for this. Browsing Teams and channels is basically keeping the thing that you're sharing wherever it may be, and you're just sharing a link to it unless you hit upload a copy. So this happens to be in this one, but I could be going to some other team and sharing a link. Of course, there's nothing there, but I could be sharing a link from some other team, and here and there, and there's nothing being uploaded. It's just a link. But then the last part here, like you said, is OneDrive. And I think you're correct. You got two options, but in general, sharing a link is going to just make that OneDrive link stay where it is and change permissions so that the people here can see it. Upload a copy does as it said, and taking a copy from your OneDrive and actually storing it here. So, yeah, if you want it to exist here, it needs to be, choosing that upload option.
Okay.
Otherwise, the link is going to keep it where it is. And if you happen to be sharing something that's already there, then all's well. Links are going to keep them where they are and just change permissions,
Okay,
including the OneDrive.
Thank you. I think I must have always done the upload for my computer, and so I had never really used the other two, and that's why I think I didn't
Yeah.
encounter it until this week. The other
Yeah.
question is, like right now, if I go to files, I can see all the things that have been uploaded to that SharePoint site. Do you
Mhm.
know, is there a way to show the shared with us in the tab line, or would you just do like maybe add a web page to the tab line with the
Yeah,
web page?
I think that, that's in SharePoint. 'Cause I know share it with me. So this is shared with us. See the context of that. Yeah, I think this is just would just be here in the SharePoint side, not in the team side. I haven't heard of that coming to the team side per se. Um,
Thank you.
although, kind of, I'm just that phrase shared with us, from a team's perspective. I mean, everything in this team is shared with us as a team. So maybe that's why that phrasing isn't over in teams, right? These are already shared with all of us. I don't know. That's just a thought. I was also going to say, just to round out that conversation, that so that's that channel experience over in your group chats when you are sharing a file. You also have upload and OneDrive, but these files are all governed by OneDrive. So even if I'm uploading from my computer, I'm uploading to my OneDrive and then sharing the permissions out to the people in the chat. So that's the rule of thumb there, that the group chats and private chats are OneDrive based. Anything in the teams and channels are SharePoint based. So that's kind of the rule of thumb there. And the last thing I want to say, just as a best practice, is to make good use of this browse teams and channels. Basically, this ability to add a link to something. So let's say, for instance, you've gone up to files and you've manually added this spreadsheet new 1.xlsx. You want to tell everybody that it's there. To me, this is the cool way to do it. Share a link. I'm not re-adding a duplicate of it. I get this nice, cute thumbnail for it, and then I can just say, hey, every, or maybe channel or however you want to do it. New file added, and they've got the link there, things like that. And again, it could even be a group of files that you want to add here. So I use that often as a way of giving convenient links to files that are in the files area without necessarily reduplicating or uploading them new. So that's a useful feature. All right. Glenn, I see your hand.
Yes, I just want to quickly comment on that. We found, at least the way it's installed in our organization, that when people upload files, it goes into SharePoint, and then not only is it viewable by everyone, also everyone has read, write, edit privileges. But if you just provide a link to OneDrive, the file remains in your personal OneDrive, and people only have read-only rights unless you take an extra step to give them edit rights.
Okay.
And so we've been telling our users to, upload the file so it goes into SharePoint, so you don't have to go through all the OneDrive stuff. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, and so this is an experience I'm used to with a OneDrive document. So I just shared this one with the team. It's telling me the current permissions, which is people in my whole org with the link and edit. Now that may be the way I just happen to have set that document. So it could be that that's the, perhaps the OneDrive documents people are setting are already maybe set to read only in the org. But whatever it's set to, hopefully the experience they're seeing is an easy access to this drop down where they can make the changes. So if it is read only, but they really would prefer edit, they should be able to make those changes before they even hit post there, because of that little drop down that's telling me my current permissions and letting me change it to whatever permissions I want, including just the particular team that I am chatting or adding it to. So you don't have to accept that. So yeah, it sounds like you've done the workaround of saying just upload it directly to the team. That works too. But there is some ability here to upload and keep it in your OneDrive, but still make the necessary permissions for them to be able to read and edit it. I thought I saw a hand, but I think we probably put it down because we're out of time here. So good stuff here. Glad everybody could join, and good conversation, good chats, and I may have to check some of the chats that I've missed. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. So thanks for joining Cute for Teams. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out the blog for more content.